So the real issue, I guess, I'll be finally heading back to Tokyo, and then I don't think I'm coming back to the States anymore. I mean, a lot of times I get angry at Tokyo because it's so crowded, or Japan because it's so crowded, and then I come back here and it's like, oh no, I was better off in Japan. But I think this will be it. I think this will be my last time in the States, because my son barely even wants to see me, and I didn't abuse him or beat him or anything like that. You know, he's just what he is. And then probably because my ex-wife poisoned him, and that's the classical story, even though I was responsible and paid child support. But yeah, and then my mom's getting about ready to pass on, and then my real mom, and then my real dad. See, I was adopted. That's another story that I don't want to think about right now. But you know, I'm probably not going to see him, because he's just, and his wife are a piece of work. She's one of those really well book smart, college educated librarian types that will leave a piece of food hanging on her face. I don't want to go there. Yeah, they'll just leave a piece of food hanging on her face, and then, you know, I just met him after, when I was 40 years old, 43, I meet my real parents, and then we're hanging out and all that stuff, and then she starts browbeating me and all that stuff, and like nitpicking at me and all that. And I'm a really mellow, easygoing person for the most part. And all I did was just stick up for myself. I didn't get nasty or nothing with her. And then he said, "Get out of the house, blah, 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 blah." So, whatever. I never, ever would have married anybody like that. But I did have a kid with the crack whore. But that wasn't planned for her to get addicted to crack. So, that wasn't in the plan. Neither was the pregnancy. It was in her plan, but I'm getting off. So anyways, I'll be, so the current situation. Yeah. The current situation is, so I got the housemates and everything. There's the one that's shy and like a hermit, and he plays violin exceptionally well. And then he has a day job. He works for some music bank studio selling music or mixing stuff. Whatever. And then the other one is just, he plays this metal, which I don't mind metal music and all that stuff, but he basically plays the three, 4, or 5 chords, the same freaking chords, the same freaking way for like 8 hours. And I'm thinking, well, are you mixing or what? And then he doesn't wear headphones. I mean, it's like, they have headphones. People can hook the headphones up to the amp, but the landlord, because he's dying from cancer, he's not hardly there, and when he's there, he's not really hardly there anyways. And yeah, there's him, and then there's the guy with one arm that's, to make ends meet, he's digging through garbage cans and collecting the aluminum and selling them to make ends to meet. It's pretty sad, but I got to admire him. I mean, a lot of people would just give up life. He got a raw deal. He got in a bad wreck, and I guess it wasn't his fault, and lost his arm. So, got to give him respect for hanging it there and staying on the planet. And then there's me, and I'm a whole different ball of wax. Definitely. I'm a different creature on the planet. So, let's see, who else is there? There's another guy I hardly ever talk to, a big guy, and I don't really know what his gig is. I don't know what he does, and I don't really know if I want to know what he does. It doesn't really matter. And then there's another guy that is He's a TV producer. I think he probably produces reality TV shows, because I don't think he'd be living where I'm at if he was producing major network shows. So he's probably, but I don't know. But he's a TV producer and all that stuff, and then he's drinking all the time. I mean, the guy's basically drinking himself to death. That's all he does is drink all the frickin' time. And he's always drinking all the time. That's what he does in between trying to be a TV producer. And then there's this other guy that's an actor. I mean, I've starred in a couple movies, but by no means do I consider myself an actor, nor do I like it. I don't like anything about it. You know, some people, I just did it for the money. That's it. If I have to do it again, then I will do it for the money, but that's it. I don't really enjoy it that much. But everybody else thinks, oh, what a fabulous job you have. You do that. You get an opportunity to do that. I've wanted to do that since I was a little kid, and I just got lucky. I just got lucked into it and all that, and I don't really want to do it. But I made some pretty good money at it back in the day. Now I got frickin' strobe there. So last but not least, there's the landlord who's in the hospital, who's probably got about 4 or 5 days left. And he's got terminal 4 cancer, pancreatic cancer for about 1.5 years now. He's been battling it. And when I came back to stay, he was in the battling it and all that stuff. And there's some weird family dynamic stuff going on. Like, I think they're gonna all fight for the money, fight for the house. And the house here in Valley Village is worth a few $1 million, probably maybe $3 million or something. Rough guess, I don't know, I'm not a real estate agent. I haven't looked at it too much, but just a rough. And it seems like they're all just gonna go to war. And I guess the sister, he signed the papers over to his sister, and then he has another brother that's an attorney, and he's gonna threaten to sue and all this different stuff, and he's sicking in the hospital, and then his last request is to go home and die. He wants to go home and die. This is true. And the sister doesn't want to let him go home to die. So that's weird. And he signed his everything over to her. So I think they're probably going to attack each other. And then I'm interacting with the brother that's a mooch, that he's trying to bum everything off me. Hey, do you need that hanger? I need a hanger. I mean, just ridiculous freaking things for a 60-year-old man to be asking you for stuff. The mooch. And basically he's just like a total freaking mooch. And so anyways, I have to deal with him, and then he's pissed off because his brother treated him like crap for years. I mean, he told me some stories, and I'm sure he didn't cook him up. I mean, his brother really did treat him like dirt. Definite dirt. But then I told him, you know, he treats everybody that way, so you really shouldn't take it personally, because he's that way with everybody. I mean, some people, you know, they'll treat some people good and some people bad, but most people that are really bad, they treat everybody around them like dirt. So it's like, you know, it's pretty much consistent. So I told him or whatever. But what's really strange about this dynamic is I asked the mooch, the other brother, I said, I want to go visit Randy in the hospital. You know, I'd like to see him before he dies. And then he's telling me that I don't need to visit him or something like that. So that's kind of weird. But the thing is, I was really never really good friends with the guy. I just rented out rooms from him in his house. So we weren't like buddies, but I guess I'd like to visit him before. We had some pretty good talks. I'd like to see him before he dies, but maybe they're afraid that I'll try to get him to sign the papers over to me. I don't know. So the sister's coming over tomorrow, and then maybe there will be another episode before Japan. I don't know yet. We'll see. It's all uncharted territory, but it looks like it's just going to turn into a fighting for the money battle to the end. And you hear that nasty weed eater? You hear that? I gotta listen to that annoying fucking thing every day around this time. It's like, put some frickin' glyphosate or whatever, that weed killer on it. Stuff they spray on corn or whatever. Put some of that stuff on it and it'll wipe out the weeds, and then I don't have to listen to that crap. Or why don't you buy a mower or something? You know? Right now I'm probably about 100 plus feet away, and it picks up on the audio just fine. So it's quite annoying. So you can even hear it from here. It's so annoying that you can even hear it from here. It's you know, I just don't. Some people, you just gotta wonder. I mean, why? I guess people just live and they don't think about really what they're doing. I mean, I don't know, she looks about 60 plus, 70 plus or something. I wouldn't want to be out in my yard freaking running that terrible, nasty, loud thing, hunched over, bent over, like a freaking hunchback. I mean, you know, I could go to a beach in Florida, or maybe the Bahamas or something, or Alaska, or wherever, but I mean, I wouldn't choose to live my later years that way. We got the zoo here. Someone just fed him. But I wonder why the seeds are way out here, and that's a weird way to feed them. You think the seeds would be in there where they're at rather than out here. Maybe they're trying to encourage them to leave here. I don't know. You can still hear that thing though. But it's kind of weird. So the brother doesn't want me to visit his brother that's dying, that's got about 4 days left, and I told him, you got to put the guy on an IV. They don't have him on an IV or nothing, so he's not getting fluids and all that stuff, and he's really jaundiced and he's turning yellow and all that. It's horrible. It's really freaking horrible to think that people would do that to somebody, and maybe they just want him to die off quicker and sooner so they can get his assets. That's America. That's what it's become. Or maybe it was always that way. But I mean, I'm no doctor, but from going for a week without food and water myself, I know it's something that you really don't want to do. And if the guy isn't eating or whatever, you know, or whatever, and he isn't functioning and his mind isn't working, it's because he doesn't have water. So they should have him on a IV. And also that would clean out the chemotoxic stuff out of his system and flush his system. But I'm not a doctor, so I'll probably continue on this maybe tomorrow or another day.